without pills.
That's true.
That's what that says to me. It says right there, it says pause and enjoy the moment presented by a pill. Oh, Tesla, that's a pill. They don't want people to talk about nothing no more. Just ignore it. Take a pill.
Break it down.
You'll feel better. Take a pill. No, don't go out and exercise. Just take a pill. No, don't eat right. Just take a pill. Don't stop drinking. Just take a pill. It's just, I don't know what this world is. This world has turned into something that I don't recognize from my years, younger years. Anyway, hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Today's kind of an interesting day. Lots of synchronicities. I was watching Bob's Burgers with Mom. And recently, good boy Artie, I met a young lady that works at the laundromat. And I asked my buddy, he works there too. I was like, I was like, how do you pronounce her name? And he said, Shoshana, or Shushana. Right? And then when I went in and I went inside to get a little half cup of coffee the other day, and she was working. I said, I really like your name. I don't know if I've ever heard it before, And she was like, it came from that movie Windwalker. And I never saw Windwalker. You and Jerry went to go see Windwalker. I had to go to. I didn't want to go. I went to a camp out for brownies. Oh. And that was real awkward and uncomfortable for me.
For all the people.
Yeah, that strangers and stuff like that. And well, I powered through it, and I got my pancake flipping badge same weekend, but I didn't get to go that movie, but you and Jerry went to go see that movie. And then she said, actually, my name is Tushana, or Tushana. I think it's and her parents named her out of a character in that book.
Oh,
Shushana. But I thought it was Shushana, right? Shushana. Go over here. Don't go up. You can't go up there. Benny's up there. Go in here, bud. Good boy. Here, you want to go in there? Good dog. You got a good spot. Good boy. Good dog. And then we were watching an episode of Bob's Burger today. Oh. And this guy had drove a what it was is I thought her name was Shoshana, but my buddy who told me her name, Shoshana, it was Tushana, Shushana, right? But he's missing his front teeth. Oh, he doesn't say the S, or the T sound. It sounds like a S, right? So anyway, and then this airplane today. It was named Shoshana, like I thought the lady's name was. It's just also crazily synchronistic. What else? Another synchronicity. Well, I don't know if it was a synchronicity so much, but there's a neighbor over here, and when I take the dogs out early in the morning, I can hear him because I drive an old Suburban. He drives an old Suburban, and I can hear it when he leaves in the morning. And sometimes if I'm out at the right time, letting the dogs out, I could hear him come home, and I see it in the parking lot in town, and so I went in today. I had to go into town to get some graphite powder for my ignition. It's starting to stick, and makes me nervous. So I got some graphite powder to shoot in there, and then it loosens it up because stuff gets dirty and components they bind up and stuff like that. So anyway, that was at one. So I fixed my Suburban today for less than $5. It was cool. And then I saw this other Suburban at this other parts store, and I went to the store that's by the parts store today, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go see if the guy works over there at that other parts store. And I went in the parts store. I said, does the person that drives that Suburban, do they work here? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, well maybe they work at that oil changing place here. And then I looked, and that place was closed, and I was like, well, they must work at the grocery store then, right? And so I was standing there, I was thinking, I was actually contemplating about going back into the grocery store to see who owned this Suburban, because I wanted to talk to him about like parts and stuff like that. And I'll be damned, like the desire was there or whatever, and then I see this guy walking out, and I was like, I bet he drives, and he walked right over the passenger side, gets into his Suburban, and I walked up, and I was like, hey, I said, this is I said, hi, I said, you're my neighbor. I said, I explained to him how I see him go off to work, and he's like, yeah, I'm the meat man here. Yeah, he works in the butcher department. So he used to be a mechanic. I said I was too, in the Air Force, and we talked a little bit, and his name's Ray, and yeah, it was just kind of, I said, yeah, I seen you around town, and I've been wanting to introduce myself, and so I thought, today I thought I had an opportunity to do that, and then you walked right out to your car, so it worked out. So that was kind of a cool thing. That was kind of a neat thing. Good boy, Tuck. So I called today's talk Secrets, because I'm a pretty honest person. I'm a pretty truthful person. There you go, bud. Go ahead. Just lay down. Hold on. Lie down. Good boy. Here, I'll turn that heater off a little bit. I learned a long time ago that the truth always comes out. So I just never got in the habit of just, lying and telling secrets and stuff like that. And throughout the years in my life, I've known people that have freaking lied and want you to cover it up. That's to me, that's what a secret is when somebody wants you to, to be untruthful just so that they can then save their reputation. So you don't find out how they really, really act and how they really behave. And quite frankly, and this is a lot of these thoughts are being provoked by how they talk about how, they're going to release the list. They're going to release the list of who went to the island and did dirty deeds. Well, you know what? I think people know who the dirty deed doer are. You know what I mean? Like, people know who they are. They just don't want to see people for who they are. It's like there's one little aspect about a human being that people appreciate, and they dote on that, and they ignore all the other stuff, right? And they just explain it away. But there's too many people that are doing weird, gross, pervy things. That's not okay. And I'm perfectly content with a lot of people being terribly, terribly embarrassed, Because if you don't want people to know how you are, don't act the way. Don't do the behaviors that you don't know, that you don't want people to know that you do. Right? And if people are trying to pretend that there's somebody and they're acting, with airs, they're acting one way, but that's not really how they are. People need to take a look at that, What you see on this YouTube channel is pretty much what you see when you see me in town or you see me at the post office. There's no different persona. I have different moods, but there's no different persona. And anybody that has ever known me can verify that that's true, right? So the full moon's coming up, I guess, on The older I get, the more nonsense I think the holidays are. It's like all, all it's a whole bunch of nothing that makes up tradition. A whole bunch of silly stories, and then America says this is our culture. You know, when this land is based on so much more real and viable culture and real life from all the indigenous people that lived here, right? What if they just listened to them and cooperated and learned how to take care of nature and be the custodian of the earth? That's not what happened. The control, the power, all that stuff. You know, might was right. You know, Satan started winning. People stop. Oh, I knew you'd want up there. Watch out. Get out of the way. God damn. Just go. Now you can't get up there because Benny's there, but you're a goofy old dumb dog, so you know, right? See, I can't be comfortable in life unless things around me are comfortable, because when I feel other people's freaking discomfort, it fucking it's like going down a slide on sandpaper to me. I hate it, you know? But this is just how God made me, but people say, you know, you could like, who has the power to just change everything about who they are and how they feel? Who has that? I've never met anybody that is authentically like done a 180 and healed themselves completely without anybody's assistance or help yet. You know what I mean? Like, I know plenty of people that are really successful, but ain't none of them done it on their own. Not one of them. Are you figuring it out? Because this is hard to watch. Anyway. Found some old paperwork and came across some paperwork that Mom had done a number of years ago. And actually, no, this is something different. This is kind of weird. This is why I remember back in like 2010, 2011, I could tell Mom was really losing her memory because she was just like trying to get everything out of her mind and put it on paper. And at the time, I didn't know that that's what she was doing, but shortly after that, I figured it out. And it's this stuff. Oh, this is stuff from Anderson. Anyway, I came across my old when I was back in recovery and went to meetings all the time. I found the flyer for my 5th year sober anniversary. That was kind of funny. And you know what the funny thing about that is like the place where it was, the people don't live there anymore. They were married, you know, now they're all divorced. I think he does tours in the Amazon. It's just a trip how much how lives change, you know? It's like people try and create a life how they picture it in their mind, but when God has different ideas for them, it don't work out hard as people plan and try and make it work and fit and contort and all that stuff. It's just not going to work out if it's not how it's supposed to be. But I found these old booklets of Mom's. This is kind of cool. Because a lot of this stuff is lost, but then I come across it. But I found some old notepads of hers, and she'd just written some things. This is by A. Powell Davis. Religion is not something separate and apart from ordinary life. It is life. Life of every kind viewed from the standpoint of meaning and purpose. Life lived in the fuller awareness of its human quality and spiritual significance. Ma found a lot of this really cool stuff. And then down below it says her name, right? And then it has line 1 vowels, line 2 consonants, line 3 consonants, line 4 total, and then it has all like box A, total number in each number, and then it has her birth date and stuff like that. And it has what they are is their instructions. And when I looked at this, I'm like, that's gematria, is what this is, Ma. When A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals, that's, you know that? That's gematria? You didn't know, what did you know it as? Because people use it for different things. Heck, they used to even teach it on that movie, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, A Christmas Story. The Red Rider, the radio show, that they would decipher the codes, same codes. But here it says, to find your motivation, inner self, and expression numbers. The motivation number describes the motive behind the decisions you make and the way you act. It is what makes you tick. So I thought that was kind of cool, that Mom and I have been into the same things, but we just went about it a different route is all, So, anyway, secrets. I was back to talking about secrets and how I think that it should be a motivating factor of if people don't want, if people go into a situation, right, and they think to themselves before they take this action, you know what, I would be really embarrassed, or whatever the case is, if people found out I did this thing, right? But they just don't care. Now you getting down? Get down. Come on. Go. Figure it out. What else? I got some screenshots of some things I could talk about. I took some screenshots of the goofiness in the world. I've been listening to books on tape lately. And the one I've been listening to today is here's a foible for if you have a video in your watch later and you're watching it from your watch later, it doesn't show up in your history. And that's really annoying. So The Secret of Light by Walter Russell is what I've been, it's a book on tape. It's what I've been listening to. And it has a lot of really cool illustrations and things like that too. And because I listened to pretty much almost all of it all the way through yesterday and at bedtime last night. And then when I started watching it today, I noticed all the graphs and stuff, and I took a screenshot of one of them because he talks about a lot of the same stuff that I think about. He's just way more articulate, and I have a scientific background myself, but I particularly noticed how it says positive energy flows against the stream, magnetic flow. And then on the other side of that, that's negation and inertia. And then on the other side of that, it says negative electricity flows with the stream. So sometimes it's okay to go with the flow. Right? Set yourself apart a little bit. What other screenshots? I was going down because I was looking at my astrology chart because I'm really activated right now. I'm highly activated, and to understand why, I look at my chart, and there's Cancer full moon is coming up on the Monday, the 25th of December, and I got Cancer starts in 6th degree and rules my first house, and then I got Cancer that rules my second house too, and then there's all this Capricorn energy that's going on, and I got Capricorn in my 7th house and 8th house, and that's a whole freaking a third of my chart that's just like freaking lit up right now, and as much as I can, yeah, I could get all yay, and get all, but my days are the same here where I live. My days are all the same, so it's just more important that I keep things at an even keel, because I don't do real good when the highs get real high. Makes me uncomfortable. It makes me nervous. I less grounded. I don't have earth in my chart a lot. I don't have earth in my chart, so that's my missing element. So it's harder for me to stay grounded, and so I gotta be pragmatic, and I gotta plan, and because it ain't good to go out and meet other people that don't know how to stay grounded either, right? And I think it's important that people learn their placements, their astrology, because there's a lot of really useful information in there. And I don't have it's so weird because you ask, you read, you go to some sources, and some sources say one thing, and you go to other places and other places say other things, because I've been told in my life that I have my Chiron is in Aries, and then other people, and then I've looked at other sources, and it says that my Chiron is in Pisces, and I think it's in Pisces though, but I don't know. It's just, but I think it's funny, and then you have sidereal astrology, and then you have tropical astrology, and they're both they're both valid and have make very good points, right? And both could be true. So, but if both can be true, then which one's false, right? But there's truth in each. There's just so many different versions of this planet, and I'm really over all the secrecy, like the occult. It just means hidden knowledge. I understand that. Well, there's all these groups that have access to all this hidden knowledge, and they're getting all the benefits from having all this hidden knowledge, while telling everybody else, no, that stuff isn't real. Trying to divert attention, while they're getting all the benefits, and meanwhile the cracks of society is getting so much wider in so many places, and it all goes with that, desire and hunger for control and power and stuff like that. And I just would like to see the world different. I would really like to see the world different. A different place than that, I mean, generation after freaking century after catastrophic event, whatever history is, I know what it isn't, and that's what they've said. That's all these storylines that they've said. These people that say just don't just go along and get along. Don't question anything. This is how it is, and just keep your mouth closed, and yada yada yada. And now we're getting to a point that it's like people are just begging for freaking the truth. They just want the answers to how things really are. They're just sick of it. They're sick of the deck. I'm sick of the deck being stacked. I'm sick of all these freaking, whether clubs. I just clubs. I hate fraternity clubs. I hate politics. I hate all these clubs, these groups, these people that they just let their people in and help them through life while everybody else be damned. I'm sick of all of it. Whatever happens, I don't really care. I think I'm so tired of hearing people that are supposed to be putting out words of truth also prefacing their talks with, I'm not trying to provoke fear. Well, you know what? People need to be scared, because when people are scared, it changes their behavior. You know? And there's a lot of people on the planet right now that need to change their behavior. Because your behavior might be serving you, but it ain't serving the people around you. It ain't making their lives better. The level of greed and selfishness, man. It's at an all-time high. I've never seen anything like it. I just in social media, all these like young punk kids driving these freaking like really expensive cars, and these people don't have regard for life, No, they just want to race and feel the adrenaline and get the freaking, chick excited next to them and stuff like that. And that stuff like that is just calls for a short-lived life, People chasing sensations and living life in the fast lane and chasing that adrenaline and go. And it's like, why don't people learn how to teach themselves to be quiet and still, to put just a smidgen of the effort into learning how to de-escalate themselves instead of perpetuating forever, do what I want, go where I want, spin what I want, blah, blah. It's just... And then go around and act like and tell people how much you care about other people. I see people all day long, freaking plastic surgery, talking about how much they care about other people. I'm like, no, you don't. Because you don't even go to the places that the heathens are, that need to be with the people that really need to have their hearts changed. Right? People don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be inconvenienced. They'll just write a check and send it to some nonprofit and then say, I helped this year. That ain't nothing. That ain't helping. That's feeding a system that freaking gives you advantages. Tax breaks. It's freaking silly and very disingenuous. I opened one. I got a winter solstice today. My grandma died. Today is the anniversary of my grandma's death. She died. God, I can't believe it's been freaking like 19 years now. 2004 she died, and she taught me a very valuable life lesson at the end of her life. And it's like, however people live, not everybody gets to live to be, in their 70s or 80s anymore, at 90s, 100. Like, people are living shorter lifespans these days. And what I learned from her is whatever you do in your life, at the end of your life, it comes back to you. Like, if you don't live a good life, you're not going to have a good death. And she really didn't. She was very distraught. She was very disturbed at the end of her life. She had like leukemia, and it changed her. And so I took that and I put it in my heart and I carried it with me, and whenever I want to feel withholding or stingy or selfish, I just think about how her life ended up, and I don't want to be like that. So anyway, so I opened this today to celebrate Grandma's life. This is pretty cool. I got some concentrate. You put the concentrate in there, and then you hit the button 5 times, and it turns on. Then it has 3 settings. See, it turns blue, green, white.
That's kind of cool. And then the one is the coolest setting. Put water in there, and then it cools it off. And then the other two settings burn hotter. So I was super excited about that. That's how I started my day today at like 6 o'clock this morning. What else? Other screenshots I had, other things I wanted to talk about. To go back a little bit and talk about just little placements in my chart. I'll look up a play. I'll look something up, and then I'll save a screenshot. And I have Vedic stuff and tropical stuff too. And I got I also have a Grand Cross and a Grand Trine. I have a Grand Cross in Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius. And then a Grand Cross in Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini. And then a Grand Trine in Venus, Uranus, and Saturn, Pisces, Libra, Gemini. But where's the one that I found earlier and I just thought it was funny? I have Mars and Saturn both in Gemini too. Does it sound like me, Ma? Mars is the planet of aggression. It determines how you assert yourself, take action in the energy that surrounds you. Well, that's weird. Particularly in your sex life. You're ambitious, and when you're angry. Your ambitiousness, and when you're angry, your Mars is in Gemini, meaning you assert yourself in a way that is quick and heady, and you push things forward with lots of energy, though sometimes without focus. It's in your 12th house, meaning you put a lot of energy into privacy, secrets, and introspection. That's the thing, though, is because that's why I appreciate astrology so much, because it says, like, this is your natural energy. When you have these placements, you can act like this. But the thing of it is, we are human beings with thumbs, and we have free will. So yes, that is the natural course of energy, right? Like, that is what I naturally am inclined to act. But the thing of it is I know I got a pretty good sense between right and wrong, what's right and wrong for me. And sometimes these character defects that are naturally in me, I have learned to live above, right? Rise above my astrology, right? Because it's not conducive a lot of times, to have freaking positive relationships when people act certain kind of ways. So people can, they just, they just choose to take the easier, softer way. Oh, okay, Lilith in Capricorn. You're everyone's favorite boss who simultaneously has zero respect for authority figures. You believe that rules are meant to be broken and should be constantly adapting and evolving to reflect collective needs. Ding, 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 term limits. Ding, 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 term limits. All the DC, the only purpose that DC serves is to get people to go, okay, justice is happening. Oh no, that's so unfair. Okay, it's just an emotional roller coaster to keep people up and down, and that's just another system that's dissolving right now. So anyway, I think that's about all I got for now, Ma. Do you want to say hi? Hi. Okay, sweet little old lady. She's so